Hello everyone and welcome back to our next fun tutorial, and today we will be continuing on database management. We have done creating a database before, but now our focus is on create tables inside of our database. So yes, our database is created already. Our database is created already, and now we are going to create tables inside of our database. And I keep on using the word create create. And if you look at our menu, we have home, we have create, we have external data, and we have database tools. But what are we going to do? Create. So create a table. First we click on create, and then we move to our table design, and you realize as I hover over table design, information pop up describing what table design is all about. So go ahead and we click on table design, and there we go. Once we click on table design, we'll be seeing three main areas: field name, data type, and description. Good. So we're going to create a table called general info for VEI database. And inside of database, we are going to start by using our ID number, which is going to be a combination of letters and number. So when we move across to our data type, we are seeing text, and given that it's going to be a combination of number and text, we are going to use data type text. And if you look just below, we have field size. I am going to set the field size to be 5, meaning the field can only hold 5 characters. All right. And for the description basically describe what the field name will be storing. So, and it's optional. And so I could document to say that this field will store um, trainees or students ID number, something like that. All right. And if you look at the extreme bottom right hand corner, you realize that it gives you a description of what description area is all about. If I go back to data type, it gives you a description of data type. And if I go to field name, it also gives you a description of it as well. So we're going to move on to the next field. We're going to use F name, and F name will be text as well. Then you're going to move across, you're going to write last name, and last name will be text as well. And you realize I keep on moving this order. Field name to data type. So my next field is going to be age, and age is going to be, of course, number. And move across, I'm going to use telephone number. Let's use tel. And of course, tel is going to be, all right, I should not put, yes guys, you realize I put a full stop there. It should not finish, should not carry a full stop like that, all right? And of course, it's going to be text. Now, very important, we have telephone number, and we're going to look at to see which of these fields is basically unique. What do we mean by unique? Oh, I mean one of a kind, right? And have two like it, right? Okay, so can it be a case that we have two telephone number? Mm, unlikely, but there is a slight possibility, all right? Because you can have probably, let's say you have more than one network, you can have yeah, probably two telephone number but different network. Yeah, it might happen, all right? It should not, but it may happen, all right? Next, we have age. Can two-person have the same age? Yes. Can two-person have the same last name? Yes. Can two-person have the same first name? Yes. Can two-person have the same ID number? Nah. No, 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 no. Two persons should not have the same ID number. Therefore, we are identifying this field as being unique. What do we do about unique field? We can set unique field to be our primary key. Good. So basically, the primary key identifies a field that is unique, one of a kind. All right. With that complete, we are going to click the immediate X right here to close the table, table 1, And yes, we do want to save it, and we're going to save it as VEI general info. Good. So it's our VEI general info table, and we are going to click on OK. And here is our table appear. Table name appear to the left of our window. So let's double click to see what it looks like, and voila, here we go. Now we are seeing what our design of our table look like. So we can go ahead now and we can enter information. Let's enter the first ID number. So you're gonna have VEI, and you're gonna say 011110. There's no more one entering. Let's try two. Two. There's no two entering. Why is that so? Because remember, when we were designing our field, we set our field size to be 5, meaning it can only store 5 characters. And if you're looking right now, VEI, that's 3, and 01 is 2. That make it 5 characters. So therefore, it cannot store more than 5 characters, because that is one of the conditions we set when we were designing our field, inside our table design. Okay, moving right across. Name, let's use Dwayne Cole, Cole. Yes. And let's use probably age 24. Use telephone number 106 and that 0001. And of course, there are other ways of setting the telephone number as well. I can go through that in the next tutorial. Alright, so when I'm finished with that record, I'll press enter. Oh, but I keep on mentoring record and I keep on mentoring fields. So what are the difference about record and fields? Alright, so here we have a field name called ID number, first name, last name, age, and so on. So therefore, VEI01 is a field, Dwayne is a field, Paul is a field, 24 is a field, and the telephone number is a field. So when we join all of these together, we get a record. So therefore, a field would be the smallest item that can be stored inside of a database, as you realize that they are single. But when you combine more than one fields together, we get a record. All right, brilliant. Now, let's jump into creating another table so you can develop or get a better understanding of what creating table is like some more. So let me go ahead and let me close this table. And if I'm going to create the next table, where do I go? Oh, here we go again. I mentioned the word create. So therefore we go to our create menu. And if we're going to design a table, we have to go to table design. Voila, there we go. We are seeing a familiar window, our field name, our data type, and our description. And of course, at the bottom here where we could find our fields and so on is our field properties. Right? So my first field is going to be for this table is going to be ID number again. And what do I set this again? As text, good. And I am going to use next. I'm going to use subject slash program really, and my subject is going to be text, and I'm going to use fee, and fee is going to be text, it's going to be number, it's going to be currency because it's going to deal with money. Okay, so I'm only going to use 3 fields for this table. So I'm going to set once more my ID number, which is unique, to be my primary key. I'm going to click on the X right here to close my immediate table. Yes, okay, let me stop right here And let me cancel this and go back to my ID number and set the field size to be 5 as well. Then I can go ahead and I can close my immediate table. Yes, 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 I want to save, and I'm going to call this table VEI Financial Info. And I'm going to click on OK. All right. So to my immediate left now, you're seeing that I've created two tables, VEI Financial Info and VEI General Info. And as you remember, we started populating my General Info table with one record already. So I'm going to click on VI Financial Info and I'm going to enter. Realize at this point I am not having the student's name or the student name. So therefore I'm going to enter the ID number for that student because it is unique. So I can use the ID number to identify that students wherever I go inside of the database. All right. So it's going to be VEI and it's 01. Should I enter more one again? 111. Try 2. Try 3. Here we go. Nothing cannot enter because we already set that to store 5 characters. Moving across the subject, let's call this one bio. And the fee, let's put it to 3500 and press enter. And you realize that automatically $ and decimal place appear. Why is that so? It is so because we did set the data type to be currency, and currency is with money, thus you are seeing the $sign. Okay, now this drawn us to the end of our tutorial for creating tables inside of our database. In future video, we will be looking at creating relationship between tables inside of database. Now, it is important, yes, it is vital to not only watch the video, but practice to develop mastery. And remember, subscribe, share, and give a like. See you next time.